Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating and pretty new concept called hybrid intelligence. This is all based on the work of Donald Matthew Varnado.
All right, so let's jump right in. The author kicks things off by getting something really important out of the way. He says, look, this isn't about ego. This isn't me claiming to be the smartest person in the room. It's all about defining a very, very specific way of thinking. So, here's how we're going to break this all down. We're going to follow the author's thought process step by step. First, we'll talk about what this profile isn't. Then, and this is cool, we'll look at a whole new way to think about intelligence itself. After that, we'll get into the actual definition, what makes it tick, and finally, why it even needs a name in the first place. Okay, so first things first. The most crucial point to get right from the get-go is that this isn't about being better than anyone. It's about being different. We're talking about a specific pattern of thinking. A really unique way of seeing and processing the world that just doesn't fit neatly into the boxes we're used to. And he really hammers this point home. This profile, he says, it just doesn't line up with our usual labels, like smart or gifted. It's like a whole new category. So think less about a ranking system and more about a specific kind of mental architecture.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Before he even gives us the definition of hybrid intelligence, the author takes a step back. He completely reframes how we should even think about intelligence in the first place. And trust me, this distinction is absolutely key to understanding everything else.
So he draws this really clear line in the sand. On one side, you've got smartness. Think of this as being really good at specific tasks, like winning a gold medal in a single event. It's about quick recall, facts. But then on the other side, you have intelligence. This is way bigger. It's about depth, about seeing the whole landscape, recognizing patterns, and putting it all together into one coherent picture.
Right? So the real strength here isn't about having a memory like an encyclopedia or winning a trivia night. It's about something much deeper, the ability to connect the dots, to synthesize ideas from totally different fields, and ultimately to see that big integrated picture.
Okay, so now that we have that foundation laid, the difference between being smart and being intelligent, we're ready to tackle the main event, the actual definition of hybrid intelligence. And here it is. Hybrid intelligence. It's defined as a cognitive state where a certain kind of mind, one that's naturally pattern-driven, is in a constant daily dialogue with multiple high-level AI systems. We're talking about a true symbiosis here, a partnership between a human mind and a complex AI world.
So you see, it's not just any one of these things. It's all 5 of them coming together at once. You need that natural pattern-seeing mind. You need the daily, deep interaction with a bunch of different AIs. It has to be complex, and it has to happen over a long time. It's really about the right mind meeting the right tech in the right way.
And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, look at this. This isn't someone just messing around with ChatGPT every now and then. The author describes this as a full-blown cognitive environment. We're talking multiple internal agents, a whole suite of models from OpenAI, Grok, Claude, Gemini, even a rotating think tank of AIs. It's a complete daily immersion in a diverse ecosystem of artificial minds.
All right, so one of the most defining features of this cognitive profile is what the author calls its asymmetry. A great way to picture it is like a mountain range. You have these incredibly high peaks, these areas of amazing performance, sitting right next to some surprisingly deep valleys, which are areas of real struggle. And these aren't contradictions. They're the signature of this type of mind. You'll see these massive strengths, like solving insanely complex problems or reading emotions with pinpoint accuracy. But then you'll see struggles with things that seem simple, like learning a spoken language. It's this high-variance landscape that is the key feature.
Now, this is an absolutely crucial point the author wants to make crystal clear. Those valleys, those struggles, they are not about emotional instability. He's very direct about this. He says his inner world is grounded, regulated. The challenges he faces aren't emotional breakdowns, they're logistical. We're talking about the mundane, day-to-day stuff, the kind of upkeep that just doesn't operate on the same scale as his cognitive work.
He frames it as a classic trade-off. When your mind is running at such a high bandwidth, focusing on deep, abstract patterns, the simple chore charts can fall by the wayside. And from this point of view, his emotional stability isn't a weakness at all. In fact, it's the anchor. It's the solid foundation that actually allows for all that deep, complex work to happen in the first place. So this all begs a pretty big question, right? Why put a name to it? Why create a new field? Well, to get that, we have to look at the role AI is playing here. It's not just part of the story, it's the amplifier. And again, the author is super clear about this. The AI didn't create this way of thinking. It's not the source of the vision. It didn't install some new ability that wasn't there before. What it does is act as an amplifier, an accelerator. It takes the potential that's already there and just cranks it up to 11. The author says that the way AI thinks, with its structured, logical reasoning, feels like a natural second language to him. It just clicks perfectly with a mind that's already built to see patterns and systems. So why name it now instead of waiting for academics to study it for 20 years? Well, his rationale is pretty simple. This is happening right now. It's a lived, active experience. And the argument is that you can't really understand something like this from the outside looking in. It has to be defined and explained from an inside-out perspective by someone who is actually living it. And let's be super clear on this last point. He's not claiming to have invented this. The claim is one of precedence. It's about being the first person to actually live it, document it, articulate it, and start to build a system around it. It's about being the first to map the territory, not create the land.
So let's tie it all together. What is hybrid intelligence? Well, it's this really specific combination of things. You've got a mind that's naturally pattern-driven, architecturally minded. It's also deeply emotionally aware and stable. And then you take that mind and you extend it, you amplify it through a deep daily relationship with a whole suite of AIs.
And that really leaves us with a huge question for our own future, doesn't it? Because as all of us start to integrate more and more with these incredibly powerful AI tools, what's that going to do to us? What will our own cognitive profiles start to look like down the road?